Good evening, lovely spirits. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, lovely spirits. It's the wise servant here, Mr. Solace. Now, today I want to do this video discussing lies. But before I get into the video, I want to address my lips because I know a lot of y'all are looking and y'all are like, oh my God. Solace's lips are very shiny today. And I just want to let y'all know. They're shiny because the last few videos my lips have been very ashy. And I don't like that. So I ate some chicken right before I was doing this video. And I said, you know what? Ain't no need to wipe the grease off. That chicken grease is good. You don't leave that right there on that lip. Little lip gets so shiny. See that lip gets so shiny. You start talking like an infant. Oh, look, my lip is shiny. It's good. I'm sorry, don't get mad. Y'all know I like to enjoy the life. I'm always in good spirits. But today, I want to do this video discussing lies. It's a deep thing. Don't get lost on my lips. I know they look kind of gay. I'm content with my manhood. Like I said, my lips been chapped. I don't know. I think it's the change of the season or something. But my lips, they've been chapped. I'm like, man, I don't understand what's going on. I didn't eat no donuts. I didn't drink no milk. It's a deep thing. But in any event, I want to go on ahead and get into this video. And I want to discuss lies that's being taught. There's certain little lies and phrases and things that's being taught in today's times that hold no truth. Now, when I say truth, I mean it doesn't correlate with science in any way. It doesn't correlate with math in any way. It truly doesn't correlate with anything in life or anything. It's just something that people are saying. So I want to discuss a few lies that are being taught. And hopefully that'll bring some clarification to anyone who's truly searching for truth. So put your tough skin on. I'm not going to do it in ego or joking manner. I'm going to make it as humbled as I possibly can. But I just want y'all to see how easy it is to fall into anything that it's being taught. And this has to stop. Now, the first one I want to discuss is showers versus bath. Now, some of y'all may have never heard this, but this is a new lie floating through the conscious community. And it's basically, they're saying that showers are not healthy and you're supposed to take baths. Baths are healthy, showers are not. And this is a deep thing because I'm in my mind like, damn, they're so racist in their minds now that they're debating over what's more right, shower or bath. It's amazing. If water had different color, y'all would debate over that. Which color water is more healthy? So y'all want to argue over anything, y'all can. But I just want to go ahead and tear this little lie to pieces for those who truly reach for knowledge. Now, they say showers are unhealthy because of the steam. And it's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. Steam is nothing more than water vapor. So you have to grasp, this is why knowing things like science or any little thing you can know is important. Because if you don't know anything, then you say anything. So they say, oh, showers are not healthy because of the steam. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp because steam is nothing more than water vapor. And all water vapor is our steam. All this is just water that's so hot that it vaporized and turned into steam. And when it cools, it turns right back into water. And if it's heated back up, it turns back into steam. So they're the same thing, steam and water. It's no different. Steam is just water that's too hot to be in its physical form. This is why when you get out the shower, something in the mirror is foggy. That's the steam. Once you touch the mirror, your finger's wet. That's because the steam is cooling. So when you hear things like, oh, a shower's not healthy because of the steam, you have to grasp how this makes absolutely no sense. Now, someone else said, and this is my friend, so I don't want anyone to get lost. But one of my friends said, animals don't take showers. This is why showers should not be taken. And this is absurd also. Because animals don't take baths either. Most animals don't clean them. They clean themselves with their tongue. Most animals are dirty, so they're not worrying about cleaning their body. They get caught in the rain, they get cleaned in. If they happen to be chasing some food through the river, they get cleaned in. But animals are not taking baths. So I don't know how y'all can get to this point where y'all just get lost. It's like trying to be so conscious and enlightened that you just go into insane mode. It's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp, but follow me because nothing I'm saying is out of whack. We all know steam, water vapor. Well, you may not know, but if you look up science or look up a thing, you'd know what water vapor or steam is. And it's the same with animals. We all know animals don't run bath water and hop in the bath and say, most animals, they get clean whenever they do. But hopefully my friend wasn't saying that we shouldn't take baths or showers because that's just disgusting. Now, I want y'all to look at the overlying point, which is bath versus showers. Now, how do you get to the point where you're debating over what the water's coming out of? Because when you're dealing with baths or showers, this is basically what you're dealing with. Racist thoughts over tub and shower head. Like, how you get to that point? This water's more healthy because it came out the faucet into the tub, and this water is not healthy because it came out the shower head into the tub. This is basically what that debate is. That's absurd. You have to get real. It's the same water. If you're taking a shower or a bath in your bathroom, the water that's coming into the toilet, the sink, the shower head, the faucet, wherever it's all the same water. So grasp that. Y'all have to get real. Y'all minds are getting too racist. And when you're lost in racism, you start being racist with everything. Next thing is going to be all white Air Jordans, man. Those are for goofs. Only wear black Air Jordans. This is where we're headed. And it's absurd. Now, another lie I want to discuss is called Hebrew Israelite. Now, I know this is going to be a touchy subject, but I want everyone to just stay in humble spirits. I used to be a Hebrew Israelite myself. This was maybe 10, 15 years ago, before a lot of y'all even thought about anything about getting conscious. So grasp. I don't just pop out of thin air smart as smart. Doesn't work that way. But it's a deep thing I want y'all to grasp. I want to break down something with the Hebrew Israelites. Because you have many people of today times arguing and bickering back and forth over this Hebrew Israelite thing. And who's a Hebrew Israelite and who's not. And the white Jews are fake Jews and the black Jews are the real Hebrews and all of this bickering back and forth. And I want y'all to understand something. We don't need to argue and debate over that because that is not real. It's made up. Israelite nationality is not a real nationality. Now let me explain. We all know Jacob. He is where Israelite starts. So if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you should know your history at least. And this is the history. Jacob had 12 sons. And his 12 sons, their children and all their descendants were the 12 tribes of Israel. And their nationality were Israelites. Now you have to grasp, Jacob was not truly an Israelite. Grasp. The Israelites were given their name from Jacob because his name was changed to Israel. And their nationality became his name. But you have to grasp, Jacob's real name was not Israel. It was Jacob. And he had a fight with somebody and got beat up. And then they named him Jacob. They named him Israel. And he took that name onto himself. And when all his different 12 children from different women that were from different nationalities started bickering and arguing amongst one another because they couldn't see how they were brothers, this is how he named them the Israelites, to bring them together as one. But you have to grasp, Jacob was not an Israelite. There was no such thing as an Israelite ever heard of until Jacob had a fight. And then he took on the name Israel. But if Israel is not his real name, then how can the people be Israelites? If the name is not his real birth name and it's just the name he made up, then how is the nationality a real name? So you have to grasp. And deeper than that, you can't just say, oh, I'm starting a nationality of people and they're going to be called this. You can do that, but that does not make it legit. So y'all have to grasp, when y'all argue over Israelites and who's Israelites and all of this, this is all wrong. There's no such thing as Hebrew Israelites. It is just something that was put into the Bible. Now, I want to break down a character named Judah, spelled G-U-D-E-A, because this is the same Judah from the Israelite story in the Bible. But this predates that Judah, meaning this Judah is from ancient Sumeria or Assyria. But before I get into that, I want to break down Hebrew. Because we all tend to think that Hebrew Israelite, we think that Hebrew is a nationality, and this isn't. Hebrew only means immigrant. That's all it means. It means someone who is not native to the land that they are on. So you have to grasp, when you hear Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew is just the ancient word that was used for someone who was not native to the land. And y'all know everywhere the Israelites were, they were not natives of that land. They were visitors or immigrants. So Hebrew was just the word that meant immigrant or nomad or visitor. Or so you have to grasp. It's just like in the story where they're speaking of Jesus in the Bible. And the king came and he called on to the Hebrew women, because it was a bunch of different women from different nationalities there. This is why it didn't say Hebrew Israelite. It just said Hebrew, because it was so many different women from different nationalities there in Egypt that when he came to the Hebrew women to see who were having kids, this is why he said that. Because the people of the land, they didn't care what your nationality was. All they knew was you wasn't from there. Just like in America, same thing. We bunch everybody up into immigrants. It don't matter if they from India, China, Mexico, wherever. They immigrants. So it's the same now as it was then. But Hebrew just meant someone who was not native to the land. If you go back to Abraham, which is truly where all of this starts, the father Abraham. Abraham was the first person referred to as a Hebrew in the Bible. Now, I know the Bible good, so don't play with me. Now, Abraham was the first person in the Bible referred to as a Hebrew, and he was only referred to as a Hebrew when he left his family's land to find his own land and become his own nation of people. And he settled under the mammoth tree on someone's land. I forgot their name. It was brothers, but they let him settle his tent and his belongings under their mammoth tree. And when Lot was having problems over in Sodom, the messenger came and told Abraham, who was a Hebrew. This is what the Bible says. And this is why they refer to Abraham as the Hebrew. Because he was not from that land that he was sitting under the mammoth tree at. And they basically approached Abraham, the Hebrew, and told him what was happening with Lot. And then that's when he rounded up his peoples and they went and they saved Lot. But it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Hebrew only meant immigrant in the past. And the Israelite nation is just something that was put into the Bible. So if you go to ancient Egypt or you go to ancient Assyria or any place in ancient times where all of this took place at, you won't ever see anything about an Israelite. It is just a word that was made up today times, put into this Bible that is a thing of today times. And the Bible just consists of all the ancient history mixed and mingled and grabbed and thrown into the book to fit however they want. So it's just like the Lion of Judah, I forgot the correct term, but the nation of Judah, that's in the Hebrew Israelites. You get the lion from ancient Babylon, which is over there in Assyria and Sumeria. That's where you get the lion from. That was the symbol of all Babylonian kings and rulers, the lion. Now you had Judah, spelled G-U-D-E-A, pronounced the same way. Judah was one of the kings over in Assyria. He married a woman, and her father was a ruler over in Sumeria or Assyria. I forgot exactly the place. But he was a ruler, and Judah married the daughter. And this is how he took rulership over there too. Now we all know in the Hebrew Israelite text, Judah left his family and married the Canaanite woman. So this is that story. Now when you're dealing with the Assyrian history, they don't mention Judah's biological family. They only mention Judah how they know him, from marrying one of their women. So they speak of Judah in Assyria, they only speak of his wife and his father-in-law. And this is his family and his sons. But they don't speak of his biological family. And this is because those in Assyria and Sumeria, they didn't care about that. And Judah probably didn't speak about that because he was like the outcast of the family. So he probably didn't even deal with that and all of that Israelite thing. You have to grasp, it wasn't something that they inducted. In the ancient times, they may have never even heard of this. So you have to grasp, it's a deep thing. Now in the Bible, it doesn't really go into depth on what happened when Judah married the Canaanite woman. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. But it's all written in Sumerian and Assyrian text. And this is where the Bible got all those stories from. From there, from ancient Kem, from wherever they can get it. It didn't matter. And they just bundled it all up and put it in there. But a lot of things being taught in today's times are truly not true. Now I want to get into the Kemetic teachings, because there's a lot of falsehoods being taught today dealing with Kemetic science. Now I want y'all to grasp, all the Kemetic science that's being taught today is theories. It's theory based. And I want y'all to truly grasp that. Now let's analyze it before we throw jackets and say it's theory based. Let's analyze it and see if it truly is. Now all Kemetic writings we have today were written from people in today times. So the Kemetic science that y'all hearing and reading, this is from people of our times, their thoughts on it. You're not reading the actual Metuneta or the carvings on the walls. You're reading what people of today times thinks that meant. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Everything that's being taught about Kemetic science in today times is guesses, which is basically theories. Calculated guesses, but guesses nonetheless. You have to grasp. Like the Metuneta. If you're not reading the Metuneta, you can't say what Kemetic people of the past were saying. You have to grasp. If you can't read the Metuneta, then how do you know the Metuneta was truly deciphered? Because a lot that's being taught is being taught on the lie that the Metuneta and the ancient writings were deciphered. And the deep thing is if you ask anyone who says it was deciphered, ask them, can you read it? They can't. They're going on the thought that somebody else can. They're basically hoping and believing that the person that said they decoded it is right. And this makes no sense. That has nothing to do with intellect. Until you can read the Medunetta yourself, this is the only way you can say for sure it's been decoded. And just off of what I said just right now, you already know it hasn't been. Because can't nobody read it. Everybody's going off the thought that some guy in the ancient past decoded it. Mind you, Champollion or any ancient guy you want to grab out the hat to say decoded it, he wasn't from them times either. So he's no different than us in these times. The Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone don't predate the Medunetta. The Medunetta came thousands of years before the Rosetta Stone. So whoever made the Rosetta Stone, they didn't make it to decipher the Medunetta. They made it for their trade routes and all of these things so that people that speak different languages can understand each other. And they use that to try to decipher the Medunetta. Mind you, the Medunetta predates that. All languages we have today, they come from the Medunetta being simplified. So every new language you get is just a simplified version of a language before it. So now how a simple-minded or a simple language civilized person gonna decipher somebody that their language came from who had a broader perspective? So you have to grasp, the Rosetta Stone don't got nothing to do with Medunetta. And until the Medunetta is deciphered, everything you hear or read that's Kemetic science based today is made up. You have to ask yourself. Now, I'm not saying the ancient Kemetic people, the things they believed in was wrong. I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm saying the people of today is not teaching what they were teaching. The people of today are just teaching guesses and theories and things they're making up. You have to grasp. You have to ask yourself, what is being taught today that is truly what was taught in the past? Think about the black woman as God. What does that have to do with ancient times? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's the deepest thing y'all gotta grasp. In ancient times, they didn't say nothing about the black woman was God or none of this stuff. You could go look at any hieroglyphic wall you want. They didn't teach this in the past. The black woman is God. So you have to think. If Kemetic brothers are teaching the black woman is God and this don't have nothing to do with the ancient past, then you know it was made up today times. And if it's made up, then what does it have to do with truth? And it's a deep thing you have to grasp. It's a lot of fake things being taught, theories, made up stuff, and things are being stacked on top of that, and more things are being stacked on top of that, and people are getting completely lost. The whole Kemetic science and things that's being taught today is all theory-based, stemming from the theory that the Medunetta was deciphered. And we all know it wasn't, because it's the simplest question. If you know the Medunetta was deciphered, then that means you should be able to read it. If you cannot read it yourself, then how do you know the brother that said he deciphered it is telling the truth? If there's a language that no one understands and I say I deciphered it, how do you know I'm telling the truth? No matter what I say or whatever clever things I show you, how do you truly know if I'm telling this truth unless you can read it also? And that's the only way. And instead of brothers just being real and saying there was a great civilization in the past that we don't truly understand, but they were deep, you have brothers filling in blanks because they believe that these things can't truly be known. So they figure they can get away with it. Just like death. You have many people teaching lies on death, robbing people out of their hard-earned money. This is what most of the religions are based on. Death. This is how they get you. Then I made a video on death. Then people look stupid. And it's a deep thing. The more people see the video and the bigger it gets, the more stupider people that's extorting and exploiting people off of death, the more stupid they will look. And it's a sad, deep thing we have to grasp. It's a lot of falsehoods being taught. If it doesn't correlate with life, science, or anything like that, y'all might as well throw it out y'all head. Everything I teach is science-based, life-based. It correlates with anything you can think of. And I show you that while I'm breaking it down, so that you know it comes from truth. It's not just something I made up. It's a deep thing you have to grasp. Black woman is God. You can say any clever thing you want, any deep scientific thing you want. But if you don't know one thing, you can't understand another. If you don't understand that sperm cells get eggs, and sperm cells come from men, and the sperm is the spirit, and this is the order and thought and conscious. The egg cell is the body. If you can't grasp that, then this is why you like, oh, the black woman is God, because we all come from the woman, completely forgetting that sperm cells were conscious when they got eggs. They made decisions like left fallopian tube, right fallopian tube. And they went whichever way and got the egg. So they were conscious prior to being in the mother. They were in their father's balls, or wherever they reside. So it's a deep thing you have to grasp. Things have to be based on truth. Now, I blame Sonetta for all of this. And I don't want anyone to get lost and say, oh my God, he's about to slander Sonetta. Sonetta, cool, that's my homeboy. That's the homie, the big OG. But I blame that motherfucker. It's his fault. He has all these people that he just brings on his channel, teaching a whole bunch of different lies. Not everybody, but there's a lot of weirdos that just be teaching anything that have nothing to do with truth. And Sonetta just puts these people on the platform in front of all the people that watch him. And being as though he puts them on the platform, people assume that they know what they're talking about. And 9 times out of 10, Sonetta don't even know these people from a hole in the wall. They may have just donated to him or something, or bought something from him, and he just showed them love. Like, get on the video, fuck it. And it's a deep thing you have to grasp, because when he does that, makes people completely lost from truth. This is why I say I blame him, because all the people that y'all watch, no matter how famous they are, 98% of them he brought forth. Then they have their little issues, and then they become enemies, and this is all his fault. It's a deep thing. Everybody he brings to the platform, then they beef with him, and then they be their own person, and then they slander him, and he slanders them back. Yet this is all his fault, because he keeps doing this. Mind you, have to screen people. You have to get a person like me to just ask a person 3 or 4 questions on their teachings. And if they can't answer their own teachings, then they don't need to be on the show. Because you don't want to be a fool along with other people. Because at the end of the day, let's say one day everybody says, oh my God, young Pharaoh don't know what he be talking about all this time. It's all Sonetta's fault, because Sonetta is the one that put him on. And that's how it goes for anybody that teaches, for the most part, except for me and a few others. But for the most part, it'll be his fault, because he put them on. And this is why. No screening, no nothing. Just, if people like what a nigga say, they can be on the show. If they got a little bit of fan base, they can be on the show. But where is the truth being screened at? That should come first. If your job is to teach and to bring forth teachers, truth should play a role in that. Meaning, that should be the first thing on the list. Is what this brother teaching have anything to do with truth? Whether I like it or not, does it have anything to do with truth? And if a brother gets questioned on his stuff and can't answer simple things, because my questions are simple. Most people can't answer them because they stuff be false. So it's a simple thing you have to just grasp, man. I blame Sonetta. But Sonetta's my brother. There's no problem or nothing like that. So y'all don't have to get lost and say, oh my God, and wait and see if Sonetta gonna throw a cheap shot back at me. There's no cheap shot. I'm just real. It's real shit. It's his fucking fault. All this fake teaching shit is his fault. He make everybody feel like they could just teach. He be saying it himself when nobody around. These dumb motherfuckers just keep talking and shit. But that's neither here nor there. And this is a deep thing. Sonetta, you got to change your name, man. Your shit is too close to Satan. You're getting lost in your shit. It's a deep thing. Sonetta, Satan, the same shit. It's all deep. It's your main man Solace, man. Y'all be groovy. I'm about to go watch the sunset. You know the things I do. Be groovy. Love, peace, and S curl grease.